I would like to take a roll call to get started. Ward 1.
I'm sorry, Miss Blue was on the phone. Miss Blue here.
Are you on mute? Councilmember Blue? Wait a minute. How's that?
I think we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you.
Okay. Ward 2?
Here.
Ward 3?
Here.
And Ward 4?
Here.
Okay. So I can only see Councilmember Mendoza though. I can't see anybody else.
We're here.
Okay. Well, you can get on the video on your phone. You turn on your audio. If you turn on your video, if you turn on your camera, it's a button that you push.
Okay.
Okay. Having a quorum. I will accept the motion to call the meeting to order.
Call the meeting to order. The Blue. Councilmember Jackson, I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right. This meeting is now in order. We'll start out the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all. All right. Before we have our moment of silence, I would like to say a few words. As you guys know, in April, it was an incredible change of life in the experience with the COVID-19 virus. Can everybody put their phone on mute?
Yeah.
And I mentioned at the time how dramatic the world changed in just 3 weeks, from the first week in March through April, and then through May, as we went through this process. I would have never thought in my life that we could again be so shocked into where we are today. After 2 weeks ago, when George Floyd was violently murdered, the world changed again. And the thing is that the reality, and his services, funeral services were today, which I got to see a little bit of, but the video of his murder, which is a little over 10 minutes long, which includes parts after the knee came off of his neck. In my mind, I saw 400 years of history in 10 minutes. From the young girl who stood there steadfast and had to watch a person being killed in front of her eyes, but she stood there steadfast, knowing that this was an important piece of knowledge for people to see, to the white woman on the side hollering, "Can I please take his pulse?" Because there's always been some white people there trying to help and bring things together, to the man that you hear the most saying, "You're killing him, you're going to kill him, what are you doing, man, you're trying to kill him," unable to intervene because he himself was a black man who couldn't intervene, to the officer that stood there and blocked those others who might wanted to try to intervene and clearly stood to block it and have no care. But most of all, the hand in the pocket of the perpetrator as he stood there as if he captured an animal. that is 400 years of history that for the first time, I think, in this world, people got to actually see this is what a lot of Black people have gone through for a long time. And it was just so plain to be seen. It needed to be. And I say thank God for this revelation for so many who don't know and have not understood. And so when we take this moment of silence, I want you to think in terms of all those who have come before us and all those who have dealt with these kind of scenarios and all those who survive in spite of all of this. And when we take that moment of silence, we're going to take this moment of silence this time, not one for those who are fallen and not a second one for our gratefulness. But let's put this all together and become grateful in our moment of silence as we do concern ourselves with those who have come before us and who have suffered before us. So let's appreciate what has been given to us, and let's not let this go in vain. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the actions that we'll take moving forward, but let's take this moment of silence. Okay, thank you so much. So, as we move on, we're as a town, we'll continue to do things that we need to do in order to move forward. And so, one of those important things is that we're building back our police department. And we're going to be swearing in a new officer in a moment, and you'll get an opportunity to actually meet him. And I want to say, as we do this, that I'm very appreciative of Chief Stone and the work that he's done to try to build our police department back up again, and to also bring in a sergeant, Sergeant Cohen, or Sergeant Bob, whichever way we want to go. And now we're bringing in one of our officers, and then I hope to have another officer soon. So as we talk about police and the situation that took place in Minneapolis, I want to make sure that the audience here, whether you see it in review or not, know that Chief Stone grew up here in the town of Colmar Manor. This place means a lot to him. I've personally known him for over 20 years and only always saw him as a good guy. He worked for Colmar Manor for all of those years plus. He worked here before I got here as our media coordinator, and now he's our chief of police. And he's had over 30 years experience, and community policing is what he does. I completely trust him in how he will manage our police department, how he will handle situations as they need to be handled, and how he will understand that this is a neighborhood, because this was his neighborhood. And I want to give you an opportunity, Chief Stone, to give us a couple of words about our new officer before I go and swear him in. Tell us why you decided on him.
I got to grab your microphone. Thank you, Mayor Barrow, and for those comments as well. When I started with here with the county government as chief police inspector, I was going to say, situation, it was just me.
I can't really hear him.
She said she can't hear you.
Me neither.
How do you want to do?
I need to stand close.
Well, I can turn this on. Let me turn that on. Wait a minute.
Enter your attendee ID.
Let me turn this mic on. Okay, that mic. Let me turn it.
And we're juggling with all this technology, we're juggling video to be broadcast on YouTube and live.
Yeah, that's much better.
So pardon all the interruptions, but as I was saying, first, thank you for your comments. When I became chief of police for the town of Colmar Manor in February, I had a unique opportunity that it was just me. I could build the police department with officers that I felt were appropriate for the town and had the community policing philosophy. Did a number of interviews, brought Sergeant Cowling on last month. He also has over 30 years of experience working in another agency and saw the way he operated, and very happy with that. I hope that I've got a number of comments. They certainly see him out in the community. And now we have Officer Tyrone Merritt. He has municipal policing experience. He sat and talked for an extensive period about what I expect of him in the town of Colmar Manor, and what the mayor council expects of him in the town of Colmar Manor, and what the citizens expect. He's on board. Welcome to the room tonight.
Right. Thank you very much. We've got to switch back over again. Well, no, I think we're going to leave it like that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, oh, you want me to? Oh. I thought I was going to be talking in the mic. Audio. Okay. So I'm going to take this off, right? Okay. We'll figure it out one way or another. Okay, so we're both going to be talking into this mic. Okay. All right. This is the Town of Colmar Manor Police Office Oath of Office for the state of Maryland in the county of Prince George's. You're going to repeat after me. I, Tyrone Merritt, do swear. Oh, that's right. Raise your right hand. There you go. I, Tyrone Merritt, do swear, or affirm as the case may be, that I will support the Constitution of the United States, and that I will faithfully and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland, and support the Constitution and laws thereof, and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of police officer for the town of Colmar Manor, Prince George's County, Maryland, according to the Constitution of the laws of this state and the Charter of Colmar Manor, Maryland. Okay, so from me, I subscribe and swear before me, Mayor Barrow, Mayor of the town of Colmar Manor, Prince George's County, Maryland, that this 9th day of June 2020. Welcome aboard. Okay. An elbow bump. And you want to get a signature? I'm wired up. All right. Thank you very much. Hanging around. You want to take pictures and sign it? Thank you. Here we go. All right. Thanks a lot. Whew. Okay, we're moving on. You guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
Oops, I know what's wrong. Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
I can't tell. Anybody hear me?
Yes, we can
Can you hear us? We can hear you.
John Barr, I hear you fine.
Something's not quite right. I can't hear anybody.
Uh-oh.
I can't tell if they can hear me. Hello?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
So why
Yeah.
can't
Sure, I
I
can hear you fine.
Okay. I'm going up as far as I can. I can't hear.
Somebody muted the mayor.
Okay. Councilman Mendoza, say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know why I can't hear.
Yeah.
I can hear her, Mayor. I hear you as well.
She can't hear us.
Can you hear me, John Barr?
Can you hear us now?
I hear everybody.
Okay. Now
Can you hear
I'm and then I'm okay. Not working.
Oh, there's the mayor.
What was it that you did? Because I'm hearing both of them. Okay, let me try it again. Nope. What did you do before that actually made this one stop?
You say you can't hear anybody in here.
But I was hearing them before something happened. And okay, Councilmember Mendoza, say something.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mayor? Mayor? No, she can't hear me. I can hear you.
Yeah, I think she needs to check something on her phone. Maybe her phone.
Yeah, maybe it's
Hear that.
phone.
It's her
She
phone.
got her
She
earpiece
doesn't have her
on, right?
No, they're not in.
Yeah, I can't hear them.
Yeah, I thought she was using her earpiece.
I'm going to go mute.
Okay, Councilmember Mendoza, say something now.
Can you hear me, Mayor?
Barely. I just can't hear you. Okay, say something again.
Sound check. Can you hear? Sound check.
Okay, that's better. Let me see if this works. Okay, that's better. No, you got to cut that off. Okay, that's better. All right, there we go. Complicated. All right. Moving on to our agenda. I want you to, the first order of business is approving the minutes. The minutes that we have available to us are, let me bring up, Okay. We have minutes from the December 3rd work session, April 21st special budget meeting, May 12th, for the hearing, the budget hearing, May 12th council meeting, and May 12th public hearing. So, for the minutes, I don't know if you guys had a chance to actually read over the minutes, but from the December work session, I had one change. It says in there that Captain Gomez was sworn in by John Barrow. But Captain Gomez was sworn in by me. So, is there a motion to that December work session with that change, or?
Yes, Mayor, this is Councilmember Jackson. I'll make a motion to accept December work session, December 3rd, 2019 work session with the changes of that you stated.
Hold on. Councilmember Jackson, again, I'm not being able to hear you again. But I'm just going to take this off.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Mayor?
Can't hear it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me now, Mayor?
All right. So now I just need to figure out how to.
You can hear the sound, Mayor?
Oh, okay. I can hear now.
Okay. All right. So this is Councilmember Jackson. I'll make that motion to approve December 3rd, 2019 work session minutes with the changes that the mayor stated as far as with the mayor sworn in Captain Gomez, not Mr. Barr.
Councilmember Blue, I second that motion as stated.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so the next that I suggest that we do together, which would be the constant yield rate hearing and also for the public hearing. Those are pretty straightforward, and a public hearing for the budget, that is. And so is there a motion for us to accept those meetings from May 12th?
Yes,
I'll make that motion stated.
Wow, everybody doing it. Okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay, and is there a second?
I'll second.
Who was the second?
Mendoza.
Oh, I thought you were the first. Okay. So Jackson and Mendoza, Jackson and Mendoza. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, those minutes are passed. Then we have the May 12th minutes. Is the motion, this is for the actual town meeting on May 12th, 2020. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion to approve the May 12th council meeting.
Town meeting.
Town meeting, I'm sorry.
And a second?
Councilmember Blue, second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so minutes that we have there for the date, and Abigail has sent a spreadsheet that actually gives you an update of where everything is in terms of other minutes that we have the balance to approve. But I'm very happy to approve these ones because these are related to the budget. It really needs to be approved before we actually approve the budget. So I'm glad we got these ones in. These are very important minutes to have done. So the next item on the agenda is for me to report out on the work session. I will report out. Let's see. Okay, so on the work session, which was Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020, we had a further, on the budget, we talked about a little bit later. So even though it was the first on the agenda, the actual first item was that we had a conversation with Larry Taub and members of NEA Michaels Corporation, who owns the property between 43rd and 41st Avenue, which includes the convenience store, Fort Lincoln Medical Center, and the McDonald's, as well as the old Franklin electric property and the car wash. Their proposal that they've submitted to us is to install a gas station, convenience store, and car wash in the lot, where they would raise the convenience store and the Franklin property and the current car wash to put up a structure of a convenience store. We have had this conversation for a while now with them in terms of what it is that they want to do. Originally, they had talked to us about a Royal Farms, which many people were excited about. But eventually the Royal Farms made a different decision, and you'll notice the Royal Farms up at 450 by Capitol Plaza. The subsequent recommendations from them was to actually have a gas station with a convenience store, which is different than a convenience store with a gas station. But they have made some improvements, at least on the design of what it is that they're trying to accomplish. But I want to make sure that everybody stays tuned while myself, mayor, and council have not made a decision to say we're supporting this. They are moving forward. I have said to them that I would give them the opportunity to talk to the people. I don't know if it's appropriate for us, with so many different opinions about this, to render a statement unless, the council feels strongly to do so. But I feel it best in the hands of the people that they get an opportunity to see and hear what it is that they propose, and that we have a voice that we're certain about is the voice of the town of Colmar Manor residents. So that's the conversation we had with them, and everybody got an opportunity to ask questions about what they thought and so forth. And of course, within the ward report, each ward council has the right to have whatever thoughts or mention whatever it is that they would like to say as well. We talked about the Colmar Manor Health Board and the role that it has in relationship to some of the governor's orders, and whether or not we would be interested in making some more restricted orders, particularly around the number of people that are in the carryouts at one time. We had scheduled a meeting for earlier today, but I was not able to make that commitment, and so we will further discuss that as a matter of how the numbers are going. Right now, from a COVID-19 perspective, I still feel, even though our county executive and our state have been doing a really good job of trying to bring numbers down, they are not giving us the information we need at the municipal level so that we can also think through what is the best actions for us to take. So on calls, I continually ask the question, and hopefully, one day we're going to get numbers while they can see who's been hospitalized, and they can see in the county and the state, they can see who's died in the county and the state. They can see, how many people have been tested in the county or the state. The only thing we can see is how many cases there are in the zip code 20722. And the cases don't tell us that much, because the cases maybe cases may or may not be asymptomatic cases. And if we don't know that, then we don't know what we need to know. So knowing that there's asymptomatic people in our own community would be very, very helpful, but we can't see that right now. So hopefully as this progresses, that will start to give us more data down to our level, and then we can actually make decisions in our businesses, in our parks, for our own selves, because we'll know what's happening. So I'll keep pushing on that. We talked about the Circuit Rider program. We're fortunate in that we had a circuit rider, which is a person who pretty much helps you work with grants and put together policies and review documents and things like that. And we had worked with North Brentwood and Fairmont Heights on the Circuit Rider program. And then last year, it appeared to be too much to be 3 towns, and so North Brentwood and Fairmont Heights went on their own because we weren't a part of their original package. They just let us come along. But Fairmont Heights has decided not to continue the Circuit Rider program with North Brentwood, and North Brentwood has asked us if we would come back on with them. So I'm very excited to actually be bringing, at this time, Gwendolyn Goodall back on to work with us. She did such an excellent job of getting us these LED lights and working with us on our Green Street work, and so we're really excited to bring her back in again. We also talked about our humanitarian distribution update. Many of you probably know by now, I mean, we're able to give out a lot of food, usually over 100 boxes of produce a week, and over 100, most of the time, individual food meals, and being able to really understand our community better and what the needs are. We now are sitting here on with hundreds of diapers. Just turn this on and show you. I don't know if you guys can see. You should be able to see in the room all the diapers.
Yeah, we can see it. Wow.
Yes, and look, and then we've got more over here where our residents, a couple of our residents worked real hard, put out a Facebook ad a Facebook wish list, so people could go on and purchase off the wish list. And that's been really exciting. So right now we're working person by person to work out getting these diapers out. A little bit harder than children. I mean, I have food, because food, you just give everybody food and everybody eats food. But with the diapers, we have to do, the 0 size, the size 1, the size 2, the size 3, up to size 6, and really figure out how much everybody needs. But I'm really excited. This has been spurred off by Mayor Miles from Mount Rainier. Those 5 hubs, Mount Rainier, Brentwood, North Brentwood, Colmar Manor, and Cottage City. And we're all hubbed together to get what couldn't be 100 diapers per month to 47 families for us. And so we're really excited about really making this work and be helpful to people. So we gave out a few today, and we're just doing them a piece at a time. Next item on the agenda. So anyway, that's what we've been. It's a lot of what everybody's been doing. The staff has been absolutely great in working at, because we have to organize all these things, and the logistics can be crazy. And so I want to make sure that everybody knows that they've been putting in a whole lot. We're going to be getting 100 boxes of produce tomorrow from Shabak. And so please let your neighbors know. There may be some neighbors that aren't getting what we get, but it's quite interesting. We send out a text message and 60 people show up in an hour. So we've been pretty successful at reaching out to people and being able to help. So I'm excited about that. We talked about the state and county executive orders. While the county and state has done a really good job of helping us in terms of the shut-in process, the open-up process, while I think that they feel this phase process is actually a phasing in process, from all appearances, it really looks like people just feel like everything is open and it's not really that phased and it's not clear. And so hopefully they'll start pulling things together so that it's clearer that if you say that a restaurant can start opening up tables at 5 o'clock on Monday, that that's what they can do. But that's not what they wanted to happen. They wanted applications to go in, and that's not working out that great. So we'll see where that goes. You talked about the COVID-19 funding. As mentioned in a previous meeting, we've been allocated $89,000 towards that funding, and myself and Baden worked to put together pieces for the funding, which includes personal protection equipment, sanitation products, temperature gauges, UV light sterilizers, computers so that our staff can work at home, and those such things. So $89 didn't go very far. Went on very fast, but we did get it in on time, and we're waiting. We expect to hear in about 2 more weeks what they decide. And we talked about graduation acknowledgments. We have to get past this meeting, but tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be putting up some recognition to our graduates out on our big bulletin board, and I will be sending out letters. If you have a graduate, if you know someone who's a graduate in town, and we may not have that information, please go to info@colmarmanor.org and let us know who the graduate is so that I can actually submit something to that graduate on behalf of the town. And we've agreed to actually put a small token in there to the graduate for help. We also talked about the census, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the census tonight. So we'll get to that. And then we talked about the budget to see if there was any final changes before our adoption, which is planned for today. And we did make a change. We increased the student employment, summer employment, to $2,500 from $1,000. And that was the only change that we made from the budget. Council members, are there any differences of anything that I said that happened differently? Or if you need to ask? Okay, well then let's move on. The next item on the agenda is my report. I think I have said what I needed to say about what's been happening and what's been going on, so I'm going to move on to council reports. Councilmember Blue, Ward 1.
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank all the citizens in Ward 1 for just looking out for each other's families and say get well to the ones that are sick and shut in and the ones that are very, very ill. Prayers go to their families. I also give my condolence to the ones that have lost loved ones. Slow down with the driving. I've seen people still speeding up and down the street. As the mayor stated, also the Pampers are available at the town hall. And I want to say thank you to Chief, since I have noticed that there's a policeman in town now. Congratulations to the seniors. And wear your mask. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Bowden, Ward 2.
Oh, in Ward 2, people still putting out trash and dresses, and they put them out and they sit out there for the whole week. And I also like to congratulate the graduates. I don't know who they are. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Make sure you call and leave a work order when you see those items out. Not supposed to be out. But they just supposed to be starting back up this week for a bulk pickup.
Oh.
Okay, Ward 3, Councilmember Jackson.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I really don't have a report. Just want to say June the 17th is National Garbage Man Day. So it's been pretty hot. And if you see a garbage person, maybe you can give them a bottle of water or something. Or just a note saying thank you. Also, Mayor just stated that the bulk trash resumes June 17th. However, keep in mind that we're still in phase 1. some items that you would normally put with the bulk trash, they're not accepting them right now because we're still in phase 1. For any of you parents that have kids that need to register for kindergarten or pre-K June 1st, they're doing registration online. Also, if someone needs to renew their license or anything, Maryland Motor Vehicle has opened up for appointment only. And that's all I have for my report. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So, Councilman Mendoza, Ward 4.
Good evening, Colmar Manor. It's great to be able to be here and talk to you guys because unfortunately May was a bad time for the Mendoza and Camamo family. It was 6 of us as family members that got the COVID virus, and fortunately we made it through. It was a bumpy May, but everybody is okay. Thank God. So definitely, I know we're going through phases in Maryland. You know, trying to open Maryland back up, but definitely social distance and keep your mask. It's a lot of people still just not wearing their mask, but definitely do that. But on a greater note, congratulations to all the new graduates for 2020. I know it's different this time, but Colmar Manor has a gift for you. So definitely, if you know a graduate in Colmar Manor, or if you're listening to this and it's you, definitely call, give your name, and Colmar Manor has something for you. And yeah, definitely the bulk trash. I'm so glad that Mayor and Councilmember Jackson brought that up because, yeah, that's been gone for a while, and we still want to. I mean, definitely have to call in, make that appointment first. You know, schedule that. But yeah, check their website because that is true. They're not accepting everything at this time. I guess they're going through phases also. And and with there's elections. There have been some elections, and I just want to give a big congratulations to new mayor in New Carrollton, Felicia Nemhard. Yeah, they had their election yesterday, and she's mayor now in New Carrollton. So that's all. Thank you.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah, wow.
I know she is so excited.
I know she is.
That's history.
That is.
Yes, that is. And I know she's going to be doing what she needs to do for her town.
Congratulations to her. Yeah.
Absolutely. Congratulations. And also congratulations to you, Councilmember Mendoza, as a secretary, I believe, PGCMA.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, secretary.
Yes. So congratulations. So I don't know how I had to get off because the NAACP had a meeting that night. So I didn't hear from the at-large board members.
So they're still working on that because there were a lot of for the 7 they didn't make this. There's only 4. So the other 3 there was a lot of ties in there. So they have to do. I'll let you all know when they have to do another election run.
Okay.
For the other 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope, Councilmember Blue, that you're in there somewhere. I know you want to be sitting there.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, the treasurer's report. So, let me see. Okay, now I got to do this another thing. I got to share my screen so I can bring up. Okay, can you guys see the agenda there?
Yes, we can see the agenda.
We can see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the budget. Okay, so here's the treasurer's report. And so this is the treasurer's report. This is through May 2020. So it's July 2019 through May 2020. And that would be 11 months to we should be somewhere around 91% of our budget. We are currently in revenues. We have we're at 905, 691.77. The big number of where we fall short is our hall rentals. We lost a good 3 months of hall rentals, and we will be losing again when we start in the new year until we're able to come back to capacity again from COVID-19. So we had $2,313,000, 102 in for revenue, net profit. For our expenses in the general fund, we have $366,431. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. $294,692 in our general budget, which is approximately 80% of what we budgeted. For the payroll taxes, 66,528. That's 88.8%, which is close to our budget. For the senior van operation, we're at 55,203.41. That's 87% of budget, and that's what we'll end the year with, because we currently are not running the bus until we have more guidance from the state. From code enforcement, we're at 25,509, which is 57% of the budget, and we're happy to have code enforcement operating again. But we had quite a period of time without code enforcement. So we have public works at $211,000, $672, which is 80% of the budget. We have community center town hall, $276,206. That's 88% of budget, which is pretty close to what it would be. Public safety is at $250,000, $458. That's 61% of the budget. Which of course, we know that we had plenty of time without the police. For the police chief, that's $8,345, which is 60.7% of the budget. The community center operation is $66,613, which is 85% of the budget. So currently, as of the end of May, we have net $150,179,000 more in revenue than we've had in expenses, which is very fortunate for us, because the next year, being that our hall rentals will be limited, our bazaar is going to be limited, that we have to find some form of income, and so this net will pretty much stay into what is June, and we still expect to see that. From the balance sheet perspective, we have $137,000 in cash assets. We have $30,000 on personal property tax receivable that is still owed to us. We have $806,538,000 in our current asset investment account, and the balance of our net assets, current assets are $1,027,402.06. We have Other assets, which is the building, is $2,311,815. The accounts payable of $12.47. Current liabilities of $44,871, most of which is deferred property tax. That means that it's property tax that is owed to us, but at the same time, we can't record it as revenue as yet. And so then we have net equity of $982,517. And that is the treasurer's report. So is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make that motion to accept the treasurer's report.
And is there a second?
Councilmember Blue, a second.
Okay, any discussion?
This is Councilmember Jackson. Where's Dan?
He had something else that he had to do.
Oh, okay.
He let us know that he wasn't there to be here tonight.
Okay, that was my only question.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't lose him.
The town
okay.
that he has elections and stuff, so I thought maybe he was.
All kinds of stuff. Everybody's approving their budgets and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. All right, thanks.
Okay. So, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Thank you. So the treasury report is accepted. Chief Stone, you have a report?
I do. Thank you, Mayor.
You're going to bring it up on the screen?
Oh.
I'm going to stop. I just got to figure out how to stop sharing.
And I got to figure out how to start sharing.
It's actually it's easy to do. I don't know why I'm not. Okay, I'm not sharing anymore. So, in the middle of your screen, it's something that looks like a little hoop, like as if it's a
Oh, okay. See a chat.
When you hover over towards the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see.
Oh, share content. Uh-oh, I wonder what's going to share. I hope. Danger, Will Robinson. And can you see anything when you're in now, or you just see a mess of?
I still see you.
Oh, okay, that's a mess. All right. All right. I think I see it.
I think you did it.
Uh-oh. You see a police report there?
Yeah, I see it.
I see it.
Police report, May 2020.
All right. Ain't that something?
Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
I learned something that time. Okay, for the police report for the month of May, over a few things. What you see here is a listing of all the calls for service in the town and incidents initiated by police officers, that being like a premise check or something along those lines. I'll get down to the bottom number is 102. A lot of that is premise checks, which are 18, so they account for a lot of things. More of the important stuff is the actual calls that resulted in police reports. and I believe we had 7 reports written during the month. We had an assault reported at the Taco Bell on May 9th. And reading the report, it sounded like kind of a very disorderly person in the parking lot that minor assaults on several people, was arrested, and then assaulted someone in the Department of Corrections when he arrived there. Not a good thing. That'll get you on a no bond status, which is what happened to this person, but they've since been released on a $5,000 bond. We had a fraud reported on Newark Road. That's where someone discovered the unauthorized activity on their bank transactions. Shoplifting at the CVS. A theft report at the Burger King. A bicycle that was parked out front was stolen. Construction materials were reported stolen from a vacant residence in the 3400 block of 41st Avenue. On May 29th at about 3 a.m., there was a burglary at the DC Charbroil in the shopping center. Someone broke into the front door and stole property. And on the 29th, 2 vehicles were broken into in front of the CVS. Our numbers of thefts of those similar type of vehicles have gone down drastically over the last several months. We started out with about 7 and went down. Now we had 2 reported this month. That is people leaving stuff in their vehicle within plain sight, and people break the windows and grab it. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a purse or a computer or a bag with school books in it. It can disappear quickly. So, strongly encourage everyone not to do that. Speaking of the CVS, and CVS is in the area in the last, not so much in the last week, but the prior 2 weeks, has experienced a number of serious incidents, including brazen burglaries and robberies. In some cases, they broke through the front doors, front windows, and stolen property. Our CVS kind of boarded up in anticipation of that. So if you see the front of the CVS boarded up, nothing has happened there. Doesn't look very good, but that's the situation. Things have calmed down in the last week or so in the area, so I imagine that'll be taken down soon. In the recent months, the COVID-19 has really caused drastic changes in the town of Colmar Manor, in the operation of the town hall and operation of the police department. A lot of the staff efforts have gone to meeting the food needs of the residents. If anyone does have food needs, please contact Mr. Renee here at Town Hall, and we'll try to make something happen. And I say that all the staff members, whether it's delivering the food or handing it out here at Town Hall or picking it up, have been involved in that. You mentioned earlier, we recently picked up 2 new officers. Last month, Sergeant Cowling was sworn in. I hope everyone has seen him out patrolling the neighborhood. I've received a number of comments about him. And tonight, Officer Merritt was sworn in. He has a few preliminary matters to take care of, but will be out on the street in 2 weeks. And I think he'll be a good addition to the town. And then in the future, in the not too distant future, we'll pick up a 3rd. Touch on a couple of the code enforcement items for the month. Code enforcement officer followed up on grant warnings that were sent out in April, and all of those have complied. Bates Trucking suspended, as was mentioned a couple of times tonight. Bates Trucking suspended their pickup of bulk trash. That will resume next Wednesday, June 17th. To arrange for that, you have to call them prior to 2 p.m. on the Tuesday at 301-773-2069, or you can make the arrangements online. A good portion of the code enforcement efforts have also been towards recycling and the use of plastic bags in recycling. Recycling, you would think the plastic bags are recyclable and they're great and throw them into recycling. That's not the case. They contaminate the recyclables, and the recyclables go from money-making recyclables to trash that costs money to dispose of. And it's, the town enacted an ordinance several months ago, which is causes a $50 fine if you use plastic bags, either to put in your recyclables or to hold the overflow in. So we're trying to discourage that, and we'll be sending out some warning letters on that. No fines issued yet, but that may be coming. And unless I do have a couple more things. See, maybe put it up on the screen. I could go all night now. So, let's see. National Night Out, normally held the first Tuesday in August. They're recommending, and I'm going to recommend that since we don't know quite what's going on, that be postponed until October, be October 6th. Well, as we get closer, we can make that decision, but I just want to throw that out there. And that's all I have for the police report. I do and give an opportunity for questions from the mayor and council. Then I just have a letter that I want to read into the record.
Okay. Well, let's see if we want to accept the chief's report.
I'll make that motion to accept the police Chief Stone's police report.
Well, I'll second. This is Councilmember Jackson. I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? I want to ask a question on the recycling. You know how soon those letters will probably go out to people about the plastic?
Yes, within a day. I want to run it past you first, and then they can go out. And just to speak, I guess, numbers, we found last week that about approximately 35 people had put out trash with plastic bags. I guess the good thing is that a lot of people are recycling. The bad thing is that, and recycling a lot, is that the overflow are going in plastic bags, would probably be in cardboard boxes or some other recyclable material. Anything but plastic.
Right.
With that said, it does seem that Bates is picking up most of those. That count was made before they came through town. After they came through town, I didn't find any that were left behind. So I think they're picking them up. But what's happening on the other end, whether they can't dispose of them or if they're taking them out of the plastic, I don't know.
Well, what was reported to me, which is the reason why I've been putting so much pressure on it, is that, we're costing money that they expected to be making money because they are still taking them, but they have to just put those in the trash.
Yes, and
it can't be recycled. So that's what I have been told from, Mr. Bates and his management. And that's why I've been pushing so hard on this, because I don't want us to wind up getting raised costs because we're in noncompliance. So if we can get a handle on it, then what we'll likely do is after you guys have after you communicated with people about why this is a problem, that we then say to Bates, because Bates has told me before, we don't have to take it. We can leave it. And then you guys have to figure it out. And what we wind up with is double trash then, because on the trash day, then we got, 2 trash cans because one wasn't supposed to be recycled, because legally they don't have to take it if it's not proper. And right now they're continuing to take it, because they know how problematic it'll be. But for as hard as I've been on Bates, I feel like we need to be responsible and do what we're supposed to do. And this is an area that we need to resolve.
To Bates' credit, when I made the second round, the plastic bags were all gone, and all the lids were closed on the receptacles. So I had to throw that in.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Chief. I also wanted to just ask you, because I didn't hear you mention anything about it. We've had a good number of complaints about 4300 block of Newark Road. In terms of some kind of auto mechanic activity happening over there. So we've got 2 neighborhoods already that have been have reached to me directly about something happening in the backyard over there.
Yeah. I passed that on to code, and I have not seen any activity personally, and have gone by a number of times, and I don't believe he has either. However, we're keeping an eye on it. We know which house it is, and just have not seen it any of that activity yet.
Okay. And if you can report out we received several videos. I just want the council members to be informed and also observant, but we received several videos from the 3800 block?
Yes.
Of Newton Street? No, it's 39. Is it 38? 3800 block of Newton Street, by Newton Street Park. Of a lot of activity that seemed, well, you characterize it.
Best case, I'll call it suspicious. Worst case, it looked like open-air drug activity. Was my interpretation of it. It's a number of young adults in vehicles and doing hand-to-hand transactions, whether they're selling drugs or some other material, legal material, not sure. It certainly did not look good. Myself and Sergeant Cowling have made numerous visits to the park all times of the afternoon. This was broad daylight. The videos and pictures that were sent was broad daylight. It was in the evening, but sun was out, and have not seen it happening since, and hopefully it has gone away.
Thank you for that. So just, everybody keep your eyes open. Don't know what that was all about. I mean, it was one, but, there was definitely an exchange of some sort taking place. And I want to be thankful. I want to offer my thanks. I don't know who the person was that sent it to us, but I just want to thank them as well as being good citizens to report out what you have and what you see so that some action can be taken. And I want to say to everybody, if you see something, say something. You got a video, that's even better. You know that these days. It's important. Okay, is there a motion? Oh, there was a motion in the second. I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
I think she's muted.
Get on mute.
I did say aye.
Oh, we didn't hear you.
No, you didn't hear. I said aye. You said Ward 3. I said aye. Yeah.
We didn't hear you.
We saw an arm go up.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Okay, Mayor votes aye. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. Okay, for unfinished business, reporting out the adoption of our Ordinance 5/2020 FY21 budget ordinance. We have completed we did our budget meetings, we did our hearings, we've given out 30 days for response, and so now is the time to actually adopt the budget. So is there a motion for us to adopt our budget for FY21?
Councilmember Jackson, I'll make a motion to accept our budget for 2021, FY 2021.
Yes, so the word has to be adopt.
I'll make that motion to adopt the budget
Okay.
for FY 21 budget.
Is there a second?
Councilmember Blue, I'll make that motion to adopt the budget. A second that motion.
Okay. And I will call for a vote. Is there any discussion? I just want to thank you, ladies, as usual, you do a very professional and thorough job in working through the budget and the line items and what's required and what's needed and what kind of things that we need to do, and have been very reasonably conservative in how we do things, while at the same time making sure that we're doing things that our citizens need. so that we are representative of them. So I want to thank you all, as well as Mr. Baden, for the efforts that he puts in and how he helps us to, reel it back a little bit when we need to reel it back. And I think we make a great team, and I definitely appreciated working with you guys and putting together budgets that have been reasonable. I'll just put it that way, without a whole bunch of hooping and hollering and going crazy. So I appreciate that. Any other comments? Okay, I'm going to call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Okay, Mayor votes aye. Thank you. We'll move on forward. Okay, so for new business, some of you guys may have heard, especially since the George Floyd killing, that a lot of people want to put into action some very significant changes to policing as possible. There are some people who have put out resolutions about nonviolence in their police department, and banning a chokehold and things like that. And so there's this 8 Can't Wait, which has a list of different things in it that Chief Stone will be able to go over with you, and where and how it fits in our general orders. But the idea or the information provided in 8 Can't Wait is that if you have these included in your general practices, that it reduces the likelihood of police crime by, I think it was 78%. And so it's a first starter. It's not a whole package. It's a first starter to make sure that at least these things are covered. And Chief, do you want to talk about what those things are, what our status is with those things?
Sure. There are 8 recommendations, and I'll go through them one by one. First is the banning of chokehold and stranglehold. Second, requiring de-escalation. Third, requiring a warning before shooting. Fourth, require to exhaust all alternatives before shooting. Fifth, have a duty to intervene when that means have an officer intervene when another officer, regardless of rank, is committing brutality or something along those lines. Ban the shooting at moving vehicles. Require use of force continuum, and finally, number 8, require comprehensive reporting. Mayor Barrow asked me to look into that and compare those recommendations with our general orders, and I'm kind of pleased to say that 7 of the 8 items are covered in our general orders. The exception to that is the one that says ban the shooting at moving vehicles. Our general orders discourage it and prohibit it unless there's circumstances, and the circumstances are is that the officer's life is in danger or another citizen's life is in danger. It allows for it in that. But other than that, everything is covered in our general orders.
So I really
actually, when it came up, I was like the chokeholds. I think that's banned everywhere. I can't imagine that. I mean, it occurred in Minneapolis. I can't imagine that's allowable in their general orders, but I haven't read the general orders. But what's recommended here is fairly standard.
Okay. Well, that's very good to know that ours are up to date in those matters. And just to be clear, what you said about the order in relationship to shooting at a moving vehicle, it states specifically if somebody's life is in harm's way?
Yes, either the officers or another citizen's life is in danger, then you can shoot at a moving vehicle. I will go back and see what the Maryland Training Commission recommends in that area and see if that has changed since these were written, but I will examine that.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. One of the things that I am concerned about, one of the things that we know has been problematic is where a lot of times a police officer will state that they felt like they were in harm's way, and a lot of it is subjective in terms of their personal view of a culture, which then you can say, oh, wow, the officer was in harm's way, but was he really, or was she really?
Absolutely, and that comes into play, particularly when you're talking about a moving vehicle. It's I don't want to say it's easy for the officer to say they were in danger, but there's often cases that you can step out of the way and not be in danger anymore. So that's where the vehicle is such a common thing to I'd say it's abused a bit.
Yes, it could be easily abused, and that's what we want to try to eliminate, things that can be easily abused by tightening it down to where it really needs to be, so there's not so much room for interpretation by the officer as to, because that's really where our conviction issues are coming in, is that there's so much playroom all the time in certain things that they can say, well, it's, this was this or this was that, so there's too much playroom in it. But thank you for looking into that. I appreciate you continuing to look into it. And as the council members, you guys have any statements or questions that you want to add in relationship to these things?
Councilmember Blue, I just want to say thank you, Chief Stone.
You're welcome.
Jackson, just also want to say thank you, Chief Stone.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Mendoza, thank you, Chief Stone.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Bowden, thank you, Chief Stone.
You're welcome, Councilman.
And I want to say that I was amazing, by Friday, the protests had become very intense. And from last week, and it was, rather frustrating. Was it last Friday or was it the Friday before? Last Friday. And I got a phone call from a resident, a young black male, who wanted to say thank you to our police department. And I thought to myself, well, people all out rallying out there about, police injustice and police brutality. I get this phone call with someone saying he wanted to be thankful because of seeing police around. He felt safer for his mom when he couldn't be there with her, and that he can actually see the improvement, and he wanted us to know. So I was happy to share that with Chief Stone at the time, because it was like, you know what, this is very appreciated with everything else that was going on. So I want to, before we move on to the committee reports, I just want to, and this can be a part of what should have been part of my report, I wanted to report out on our census progress. We are at 71.8% right now, number 5 in the county and number 29 in the state. And we've done exceptionally well. I mean, we're supposed to be considered, we are considered a hard to reach or hard to count community because we have a really large immigrant population. So I'm very, very proud of my immigrant population, along with everyone else, for their participation. I will announce now that we are going to have another set of raffles because we couldn't do all of the different events and things that we wanted to do with the money that we were provided. We might as well make it available to the people. So on my next round of raffles, and hopefully I'll be getting this out by tomorrow, the next round will be 3 $200 awards, 6 $100 awards, 10 $50 awards, 20 $20 awards, and 50 $10 awards. That's covering a whole lot. And so I'm looking at people, I know you're needing some money, and anybody who has filled out their surveys prior will also be included in this particular raffle. And I'll say it again, 3 $200 awards, 6 $100 awards, $10, $50 awards, $20 awards, and $10 awards. And if you are a referral, I'm adding referral onto the survey form. And if you are a referral for someone else, you will also get a bonus for doing that. So I'm encouraging everybody who has done it to actually get other people to do it so that we can go ahead and, we want to end at somewhere. We probably have about 15 vacancies in town, which is probably going to be about 5 to 6% of our population. And so we should be able to, if we get 100%, we should be able to come in right around 94, 95. So we got a little ways to go to get there. And I'm looking forward to everybody putting the effort in. It takes 10 minutes. Anybody in this town hall, if you call, will help you if you don't know what to do. And so that's my last words from my report is, let's go census. Let's go census. We need to, this is how we bring money to our community. All right, I'm going to move on to the committee reports and the senior report. Does anybody have a seniors report?
Councilmember Blue, Mayor. No, they have not had a meeting. I guess after everything's over, they will continue to meet. Okay.
And the senior, I will say that right now, we reach out to the seniors at least once a week, see how everything is going, if they need any additional support, we get them the individual food if they so wish to have it. We'll drop off their boxes of produce so they don't have to come out as much as we possibly can. So that's what's been happening from this side with the seniors. Okay, the garden club.
Let them know, Mayor, that anyone that's 55 and older, that even though they're not registered voters, they can contact the town hall for the food and the senior club meeting off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if we can't, hopefully we have many beyond the registered list because we also have a parking permit listing, and we have, our contact list, which we have for emergency contact information. So hopefully we are capturing those. And I think with a lot of our Latino families, the young people are there with their parents and can help get things to them as well. But absolutely, you don't not have to be a registered voter to get on the list to get food. Okay, garden club. Do we have the apps? Can anybody else report on what's happening in the garden club?
Mayor, this is Councilmember Jackson. I know Doretha sent me an email. Somehow she was not able to get on the call, so I'm not sure what happened. Just that the Doretha Epps and Julian and a couple other garden club members are doing a good job keeping up with the weeding, and they're checking on it once a week. We will be having a virtual meeting, which I think is on the 20th. Which is the third Saturday of the month, and it's at 10 o'clock. And some of the gardeners didn't come back this year because of circumstances. So the gardeners did plant extra things in those vacant gardens. Those vacant plots. That's all I have for right now.
Okay.
On the garden club. Are they going to let the vacant plots go free this year? Since,
I'm sorry?
Do you have any understanding of they're going to let the vacant plots go free due to the crystals empty? I'll check with Doretha Epps. Thank you.
Okay.
Doretha.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so green team.
I have no report, Mayor.
Okay. So maybe it'd be nice if we can actually set up a virtual meeting, find out what can we do in these particular scenarios to still promote some green activity? Brainstorm.
Yes, that's something that I was looking into at Cardiff City. So I know they're getting ready to have their election. I did send out some stormwater management classes that the Maryland University are doing that to our green team if they wanted to do that online. But yeah, we definitely could do that.
Okay, that'd be great. So, I don't even know, recreation report, woo! I don't know yet. We need to do the same thing with the recreation, is to do some brainstorming on a virtual call and think about things that we can do in order to bring some recreation in. I know we talked about a few things, like I can definitely see us doing Zumba outdoors on the street, across the street, and doing Zumba. Not that we probably won't be able to do Zumba in here. I mean, because if they're opening things up, they're probably going to be able to let us do Zumba in here. Our space is so large. So there'll be, I think that there's some more things that we can they just might not be as easy going. I'm actually surprised that they opened up the pools, because I don't know how you can control children in the pool. They open up the pools before they open up the playground. So, don't know what that thinking was.
Planning open the playgrounds, Mayor?
Huh?
Did parking planning open the playgrounds?
I haven't heard the playgrounds to be open, but Prince George's County, even if the governor did open it, Prince George's County did not move forward with the governor's last opening.
Right.
Which is what included the pools. I mean, Prince George's has opened up the golf courses and opened up the tennis courts. They have not opened the basketball court, and they have not opened the playgrounds. And I don't know when basketball courts are even on the list, but I was really shocked when I saw that the governor's list included the pools. So I don't know.
And soccer.
I just don't seem right about that. But, all right, if we have a report from PGCMA.
So PGCMA, they're still holding elections for the 3 vacant at-large board member seats. So I'll get you guys that info on when that election will take place.
Okay, thank you. And MML is scheduled for, what was the date for MML?
So MML is happening the 29th and the 30th of June, and it's virtual. Virtual MML. I hope is everybody doing classes or going on there virtually? No,
Jackson. I not.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. And we will have Taylor and Jerome and Abigail. I don't know. I think they all might be. I think because we cost so much less this time that they can all join in. So I think we have all of them joined in.
Okay, good. Wonderful.
Yes. And we have, what was I getting ready to say? Oh, so I don't know if you guys have seen that there's going to be the virtual graduation for End Time Harvest Ministries.
All right.
On the 18th of June. And what I want to do...
Can we just tune in? Can we just tune in to it?
They're supposed to send us, yes. And they're supposed to send us the information of how to tune in.
Okay.
And, but tonight I need to let her know about us, because we always give out a scholarship. We have one student from there, so
Ward 1.
I would like to do 250. His name is Job. Job, do you know him? J-O-A-B.
His name is Jobab, yes.
Jobab.
Gibson, yeah, he lives on 39th Place, 4.0 average. He's going to University of Maryland and Baltimore.
Congratulations.
Sciences study. And yes, if you need a motion, I would make that motion, Mayor.
Okay, so if we can give him $250 scholarship,
Yes.
is that a motion?
I'll
make that motion as stated.
I'll second. This is Councilmember Jackson.
Okay, any discussion?
No.
Congratulations.
I'd just like to say I'm very proud.
Yeah, very proud. Very proud.
Yes. Indeed. I'd love to see them moving on and doing something. So, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
All right, Mayor votes aye, so I will inform her.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you to all y'all. And so for your summer program, I got your one, Ms. Blue, that you had mentioned before.
Thank you very much.
And so we'll reach out and also have the Miss Jones from 43rd, from Newton Street, 4300, and her son. So right now, I don't know, we've done $500 per summer before, and if that's the case, we can do 5. I think a really big thing is just picking up trash every day. I mean, I would just really love to see street cleaned every day. I don't know who it is that's just dropping their trash all the time on the street.
Right.
But I think that that's, something that we can definitely have done, and they don't need to be in close quarters with one another. We can get whatever they need, and they can go on about their business without being on top of each other.
Right.
So, we have a couple of other things. So please let me know if there's any other students out there that you think would really benefit from having the funds. Mature young people.
Okay.
All right. Is there any, do we have any citizen comments? Remember, you have to unmute yourself. Okay, I will just say that we, for our sound ordinance, the sound ordinance is posted on our website. We will have a public hearing in July at the same date as our regular town meeting on the second Tuesday of the month. And if you have any comments on the ordinance as to date, please take a look at it, review it, email over any comments that you have, or recommendations or suggestions, which will be taken into account by our work session date, and then we will plan to adopt it at the July meeting. Unless there's significant change to it, we will plan to adopt it after the public hearing. And with that said, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Mayor?
Yes.
It's John Barr.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to make a comment, if I might, with regard to the 8 Can't Wait campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That campaign, which I think of as an excellent campaign, mirrors the fact, reveals the fact that many police departments do not have close control that our general orders give us, do not have the awful noisy on my phone, I apologize. Do not have the civilian protections that we have. One thing Tracy didn't mention, Chief Stone didn't mention, is our rules for the use of tasers by the Colmar Manor Police Department are far ahead of any that are offered or spoken of in the 8 Can't Wait. I think that reflects positively on our former police chief. I think it reflects positively on the department. And it's an example of how the vigilance of the mayor and council in the past years have made sure that the citizenry is protected. Doesn't mean you can stop. Doesn't mean that you don't need to continue to be vigilant. All it means is that the department is in step with modern thinking. And I congratulate you all.
Well, thank you for saying that, Mr. Barr. Appreciate that. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Councilmember Jackson, I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Y'all have a good evening. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.